Welcome to a little tour of this wedding planning template. And I have all of this through a website called Notion. It's actually a software that I use for my business, and I just know that it's so helpful with doing anything project management wise. So I wanted to bring this template to our couples and our clients who are maybe DIYing some aspect of their wedding planning and they want a place to just put everything in one place on a free online platform that they can access from whether like their phone or their desktop. So let's go ahead and get into this quick tour. And I'm so excited to see how this serves you in your journey and planning this milestone moment of an event. So right from the get-go, this is what it looks like when you first open it. This right here is just a calendar where you can see the date that it is currently. Then right here, I just have a little picture spot where you can drag and drop and replace this photo. If you ever want to replace this photo, you can actually change it by going into it. Let's see, put this over here. So yes, you can just go and hit replace right there. So you can replace this photo. This is just a placeholder. This right here is your navigation. So think of this as like your index basically of all of the checklist and the timeline of when to do things. This right here is just quick areas where you can access different mood boards if you have one. This is great. This is one reason why I love Notion is that I have embedded a Pinterest board here. This is actually from my company right here, Gnarly Film Co. from Instagram, but you can swap this out with your own Pinterest board for your wedding, and I'm sure you have a Pinterest board somewhere. So you can go ahead and swap this out as you need. Especially too if you're working with a professional planner. I'm sure they're going to be sending you like style decks, mood boards, all sorts of things. So that's a great place to put your mood boards and embed them in from whatever they send you. Your guest list, you can keep a spreadsheet of your guest list. Your budget, your timeline. This is currently empty, so your planner will probably be making a timeline for you, or your photographer and videographer will be helping or assisting with that. A great thing too is that, say if you get this before booking your photographer, videographer, or planner, the vendors who are really trying to help you spearhead and find a nice cadence to your wedding day and your event, then you can be using this to input notes. You just click and you can type anything you want. Also, as a quick hack, you can always hit the / key, and that's going to bring you to all of the different elements that you have options for inputting. I think that when you're just new to Notion, the only things you need to worry about are text, which is automatically going to write for you anywhere that you click. So you can also enter a heading. You can also do like a toggle list. So one thing I love to do is I love to do a / heading, and I'll start just typing it. And I will say, and just enter. Fun thing to do as well, if you hit these 6 dots right here, you can just these and you can find all of these very beautiful colors. Everything's very pastel, so everything about it is very like calming and finding a nice calming atmosphere to be able to plan your wedding. So blue, let's say if you want to make it blue. A fun thing too is like, say if you wanted to just make this a toggle list, you can change this, turn it into a toggle list. And so now everything you put here, you can do different things. If you want to keep it in this, you hold down shift and hit enter however many times you want. And that can also just be, a list like this. Then if you wanted to do another heading, you could say wedding day. Fun thing too is you can always make these pretty, italicize them. You can also change the look of it. If you want to just have a prettier, more elegant layout, you can do full width, smaller text, standard size text, and say I want wedding day to be a different color. I want it to be purple. Then you can list out things like this, 9 a.m., hair and makeup begins, and so on. So yeah, that is just one example of some of the tools that you can use there. And also please feel free to just go on YouTube. Don't spend too long, maybe just spend like 10 minutes seeking some Notion basics help with anything else you want to do. So photography, videography, wedding outfits, you can obviously put more stuff in here too. You can insert links directly to websites that you have been researching for the look and like for what you want to wear. Then moving over here again for your wedding planning timeline. Again, if you are using a planner, you might not need all of this. But these are like, this right here is a timeline that's built off of a standard wedding planning outline basically. So what you're able to do is, I have these all in toggle checklists, so that you can just open these. You don't, like right now, you're just a year out per se. And you're like, I don't need to worry about what 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week from the wedding needs. I don't need to look at that or else I'll get too overwhelmed. But right now is a great time that you can just be determining this. I also have all of these. You might be wondering, so this little feature right here, this whole thing, you've got the database, which is titled Timeline Checklist. So the basically base view is this view right here, which is like a Kanban board, and basically you're able to just move things over once you've done them or once they're in progress. So say now you're starting to plan your wedding. One of the first things you want to do is like determining a budget. And all of these are separate pages like these. These are pages in your index. These are all different pages within that database of the timeline checklist. So you just click on it and it'll open over here. And this will take you to your budget, which was this same page right here in your index. So you can access your budget and all of these important index pages very easily in your navigation bar, or you can access them from your checklist. So what's great about Notion is that things can become full circle. You can reference things as you're moving through projects by creating links to different pages that you need to circle back to. And that's why I love it, because you don't have to be like, okay, backspace, or let me toggle over to this other tab and everything. So everything, you can create your own workflows very easily and seamlessly. So there's a very clear defined path of an order of how you need to follow through things so that it feels organized and stress-free, which I'm all about, efficiency and streamlining things. So yeah, that's just one example. And then once you've determined your budget, you can move it over to done. And then you're like, yes, okay, I did it. So then you can select like a wedding venue. This is another example. You could do venues research right here. And then you can research your different venues. This is where you can keep everything. Suppliers, I put that over here in venues research so that you're able to just keep that there. So again, it is in your navigation bar or your navigation index. It's just nested under suppliers. So right here, caterers and venue. So yeah, if this is in progress, you could put it there. If you've got multiple things, make a guest list. You're in the process of that, creating a website. And what I love too is that within each of these, all of the different fields that you have for sorting different things are right here. So you could assign this to a specific person, me and my husband and my assistant, but you can actually just put next steps. So say if it's make a guest list, you could say check and save the dates or build availability list, whatever it is for you that you need to do as far as your next step. I'm very much like, I have tiny tasks within bigger projects. So for me, my brain works in a way that I can look at a bird's eye view of everything I'm currently working on. Select a wedding venue, schedule tour with Vizcaya. You could do that. And then basically you're able to be like, all right, that's just my next baby step. That's my next 5 or 10 minute task that's going to allow me to make progress on this project or part of this project. So we always know it's important to break projects down into smaller projects and then into smaller tasks. So that's my method of doing that. So that's one example there. I will just move this back. So yeah, and then over time you can just go through all of these, move them over until they're all done. Another way to look at this is a spreadsheet view. Some people like to prefer this view. If you are a bride and groom, partner one, partner two, if you want to look at it just in terms of, okay, what do I have to do? What does my husband have to do? And see where they are in the progress. I also didn't mention that once you open up this template and be directed to this, you want to come over here to these boxes and click these, when that'll duplicate it into your own Notion. So at this part, this is assuming that you have already started your free Notion account. It takes 5 minutes, if that, and you're able to just sign up with your email address, or, I believe you can actually sign in with like Google or something like that now. But yeah, you just come up here, duplicate it, and it's gonna pop up into your own Notion. And that is where you'll see it over here. It'll usually pop up over into your workspace or your private area. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope this suits you well, especially if you're planning your own wedding. But again, highly advise for you to try to link up with a wedding planner who is experienced in whether like your venue or the vision for the type of wedding that you want to have. Planners just always make the day so much easier, the whole event so much easier. They can design the entire wedding for you. And they also work alongside a lot of photographers and videographers who know how to also capture the event in a way that just elevates the entire visual memory that you have of all the details that you've put into this event. So best of luck planning, and I'll talk to you soon.